Good morning, fishing family and friends of the bait finesse persuasion. Today's video is going to be about my newfound confidence bait and its family. Of course, if you do not throw a chatter, you are missing out, especially this time of year, depending on where you are. So right now, as of today, filming this intro and outro, it is extremely cold, and it's been extremely cold in Vermont. And we are more or less in winter territory right now. I've had frost the past, I'd say, 2 weeks. But if you're still down south, in those middle states, like from probably the Carolinas down, you still need to get on this. So, chatters, man, they're awesome. They just draw them out. Lately, I've been finding myself doing the mini max in quarter ounce. Now, I did get a 3/16 ounce, and that one was all right, but it didn't sink fast enough, and I felt like my pops were going a little bit too high. It was too light, so my action was exaggerated. So I went up to quarter ounce. This is the mini max in quarter ounce white. I pair it with a Zoom fluke. So when you have chatterbaits, typically paddle tails are not what you want to be throwing. You want a pintail, because having that large tail, that rounded paddle tail, or boot tail as some people call it, messes with the vibration of the blade, right? So you'll notice sometimes on a straight retrieve, even though you didn't snag anything, if you've got that paddle tail, it's you'll find that sometimes your vibration cuts out because of the way the hydrodynamics work, or the paddle tail's not even really moving because the blade is taking up all the surface tension. Anyhow, that's some geeky stuff that I be on sometimes. But yeah, this is the Mini Max, and I love this thing. It's good for targeting bass, especially in colder water. So I have a regular chatterbait here, also quarter ounce, that I can share with you. And you can see the difference in hook size is substantial. So this is a more compact presentation, right? If the fish are getting a little shy, this huge hook is probably going to turn them off, right? Also, the blade itself is downsized, so what that does is it causes tighter vibrations. It's not so boisterous, I guess, up front. This is kind of an overbearing version of this. This is the original chatter. So, this is a nice middle ground, because we also get into the flashback mini. Okay, if you want to see more in-depth version of this, I have another video out called F is for Flashback Mini. I'll probably put the card up top, so if you see that and you're curious about this bait and what it brings in, you can go watch that video. I'm not going to throw in a bunch of clips from this because I did a full video on this one. And while this is nice, when the bites are really, really tough, I find that this is really, it just kind of brings in the bait fish more than the bass. If a bass is out and bait fish aren't around, it might grab it, but for the most part, bass aren't feeding on something this size unless they're like smaller bass. So this is good if you just want to get bites, period. If you want to get perch, Lord knows I caught way too many perch on on this thing. Again, go reference the F is for flashback mini. But so finding a pintail in this size is kind of hard. I found that the crappie magnet is best suited for this. Super easy to put on. You just keep going until you pop out between the tails. You know, you make sure that you're actually gonna pop out between the tails here. Here, pull it up. We've got your bait. Perfect, subdued action. That thing will definitely work, and it gets the bites for sure. Again, more so panfish, baitfish. This, like I said, the Mini Max is a nice middle ground. It's not so big that you're being I guess presenting a whole meal is what I would consider this as. This is more of a snack. This is more of a meal. I still would probably do, this is a Zoom Mini Fluke. So they have larger ones. Usually the belly is a little bit bigger on these and they extend out a little bit further. So the Mini Fluke is a nice pair up for the Mini Max. And, you want to go full-size fluke on these, and I find that is the best trailer for these. They also make a chatterbait specific trailer, Z-Man does. So it's narrow. It's got like a regular fin, an inline fin, and those can work pretty nicely, but those are really thick, so they'll add some weight. So depending on, your BFS capabilities, if you're throwing on an ultralight rod, that thick trailer plus, the 1/4 ounce jig itself, the bladed jig itself, might be too much for your rod. Keep that in mind. That being said, I'm going to insert some clips right now of the Minimax catches, and we'll reconnect at the end. Better. Go on. I will say that the bite is definitely cushioned. Boy, is that under tension. Sounds like a guitar string. All right, guys. Just a little guy. Where are you hooked? Oh, right in the side. Not even worth weighing. 1/4 pounder. There we go. And he's still alive. Oh my goodness. What a mess, dude. I'm so sorry, dude. You are just hooked in there, dude. Last time I do that.
There he goes. There he goes. What a nightmare. What a shit show. Ugh. Sinking in mud. Terrible. This is just a straight up fishing and chilling only. Something just swiped at that. Holy shnikes. They got pushed hard. That was crazy. I was watching my bait right in front of me and it got pushed to the side. It felt like something hit it. It was trying to bite it, but wasn't fast enough. Fucking perch, of course. You're not getting off, dude. Open up. Oh. Did I really? Did I really? I think I did, boys. Boy. Yeah, we got a big one on. We got a big one on. Holy shnikes. Jesus. No, maybe not. Hard to tell. Is that grass? I'm gonna be pissed if that's grass. I don't think so, dude. Oh my god. Nope. It's a big one. It's a big one. Whatever it is. Holy shnikes. Yep. Yep. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. That's a big pickerel. That is a big ass pickerel. Holy shnikes. Bro, my line is not even big enough for this thing. Wowzers. That is a fucking beast. A big ass pickerel. It's a monster, dude.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, and too bad I got all this grass in here. I can't even
Oh, that's a pike. Big bite. Big bite.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was hooked on grass. It wasn't moving.
What are you fishing with there?
Chatterbait.
Chatterbait, yeah.
I cannot get that thing out though.
Alright, man. Nice catch.
Thanks, man.
Beautiful catch, bro. See ya.
Take it easy. Yeah. He's gonna fucking shake me all day long. Holy shit. They got the teeth in them too. There. Holy crap, dude. That is a big boy. What a monster. Wow.
All right, we're back. You saw the fish get caught. Depending on how I edit the clips, you may or may not hear me talk about different retrieves and things of that nature. But what I found is working best at the moment is almost like a yo-yoing, like treating this like it's a blade bait. So what I'll do is I'll pop reel in the slack so it comes towards me and let it fall on that slack line. Or, it's actually tight, but let it fall forward. And then when I'm popping, I'm getting a strong vibration coming up, and then it's dying. And I feel like that's really key when you can't just slow stroll it. So the other effective one in the way that most people fish these is just a slow stroll. Keep that crank at a slow, steady pace, just enough to keep it off the bottom. And boy, do I love the action on these Zoom flukes. It has this kind of undulating, natural presentation that's hard to find in any other trailer. I really, really enjoy the Mini Max. I'm glad it's out. It's a nice middle ground when bites get a little bit tougher, but they're still on. Come winter time, I might throw this a little bit more. But during summer, fall, this is going to be more of a bait fish catcher. So if you're into that, if you don't mind catching a crap ton of perch or bluegill or, whatever panfish you have in your area, then certainly by all means throw the Flashback Mini. But if you are tired of catching perch or other bait fish, as I was, step it up to the Mini Max, right? So this is got that little bit more subdued action, definitely a stouter hook. It's smaller, but it's just as thick, if not a tiny bit thicker. I think the color may be throwing me off, but the barb is substantial on this. It's just that much smaller. It's a very nice middle ground, and it works extremely well. So, yeah, man, try out different retrieves, see what works for you. Try out different sizes, also see what works for you. I will say that colder water holds more oxygen, so your baits will sink faster. So the colder you get, the more you get closer to winter fishing, you'll find that maybe that 3/16 ounce is taking the place of the 1/4 ounce. Just step it down that little bit. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all I've got to say. They're absolutely essential in fall fishing, and they're well worth the purchase and the time figuring them out. They're not hard to figure out. So until the next one, toss the tiny stuff, catch the big stuff. Hey, dubs out.